Hello everybody, welcome back to One Leeds. Here it is Connor. We're back here with another version of the Rumour Mill. We'll have something for you this afternoon as well, so make sure you are sticking with the One Leeds Fan Channel. We're growing ever more, nearly on 29.4, I think, on the way to 30k. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, I should say, and enjoying the content. Make sure you leave a comment. I'll try and reply as much as I can. I'll have a little bit more time now to engage with you guys, which is fantastic news. Please make sure you're liking this video as well, and let's get into the latest news. Well, let's discuss Friday night, shall we? And the weekend that has been. If you guys didn't see the YouTube short that I put out last night, I was yesterday, I should say, I was really discussing the game at the weekend. You know, Ipswich and obviously Leicester playing, and then you've got Southampton chucked in there. Leeds were quite lucky indeed. You know, with all the results that went our way. Listen, Huddersfield with sort of a last-minute equaliser against Southampton, which was massive because I thought Southampton were going to pip us into third, Leeds remaining fourth, of course, if that would have happened. Leicester getting the win, which we all expected, 2-0 against Watford at the weekend. Watford extremely poor. But then you looked at West Bromwich Albion absolutely battering Ipswich, and I think that's been coming. It really has been coming, and I think when you're conceding as many goals as Ipswich are doing, this is going to be the issue for them. If you're conceding that many goals game after game after game, the law of averages, I was saying this on the watch long, it's going to turn. It is going to turn, and hopefully it is turned. And I mentioned this on a couple of videos as well with regards to Leeds United and who that top three is going to be. For me, it's going to be Leeds, Leicester and Southampton. That is how it's going to be. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sort of sticking by it. I think that's how it's going to end up. The reason behind that is because I think all three have just got firepower, that Premier League firepower. You know, you look at Leicester, who were in the Premier League for so long, Southampton the exact same, and Leeds United for a decent little period as well. You know, it wasn't as if we just went up, went down, and that was it. And we had, you know, we were able to invest. We're able to invest in things in and around Ellen Road, and maybe in our development as a club, we're a little bit further ahead than Ipswich. And I think that's gonna show as well in January. I think Leeds are gonna go out there and get some really good bits of business done. Now, excuse me. In my opinion, in January, Leeds need to do a fair bit. We need to do a fair bit. I've spoken about a left back before. I've spoken about a centre back before. You know, I'm still looking at a central attacking midfielder. I really am. And I'm looking at a striker. You know, Leeds, for me, have got business to do. Now, in January last year, I went in hoping for a lot of those similar positions to be invested in. We did to an extent. We're all largely happy with what we brought in, but there was still a little bit of unknown there, really. There was still a bit of randomness with a couple of the signings, you know, obviously Weston McKennie and the like. So I think it's going to be a challenging period for Leeds because I think in January it's never a good month, but I think we can get some really good deals done. But you know, we need to, if anything, because I think Southampton and Leicester and obviously Ipswich are going to do some business. And I'm not saying Ipswich are out of the race, of course I'm not. You know, that would be very reactionary of me. But I did say sort of a couple of weeks ago that I think that three are going to take pole position very, very soon. I don't know if they can last the race. I don't know if just a system-based side with, in my opinion, pretty average players can stay at the top of the pile for as long as a championship calendar, you know, stresses. And I think they're a very, very good team. I think they'll definitely make playoffs, but I'm just not sure they'll be able to keep up with the relentlessness of this division with the quality of play that they've got. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I want to say as well, rest in peace, Terry Venables. Really, really sad news. Obviously, England legend, Leeds United not so much, but you know, he did a remarkable thing at Ellen Road where he gave, you know, a young James Milner his debut. And obviously, when I was growing up, I remember a bit of El Tel as well. But he was a visionary. You know, he's a tactician, a real all-round football manager. A lot of people spoke about his man management, which was elite, but the tactical side of the game, he was very, very, very good as well. And obviously, what he did across Europe, what he did for England, and '96, he'll always be, you know, remembered for that. But especially, you know, in our hearts as Leeds United fans, he wasn't there for the greatest period of time, but still, you know, he was a top person in the game. And yeah, I wanted to say rest in peace, El Tel. But another bit of news today, obviously, it's another anniversary of Speedo, Gary Speed. It's been too long now, been way too long, and still, you know, it hits home when it is Gary Speed's anniversary, and an absolute Leeds United legend, an Everton legend, a Newcastle legend, a Welsh legend. So once again, rest in peace, Gary, and we're all thinking about you. Yeah, always and forever. So I wanted to speak as well on Ian Peda and his role at Leeds United at this moment in time, and where his standing is. He came on the other night, and do you know what? A couple of neat touches, I mean, sometimes it's a little bit predictable what he does. Sometimes I think he needs to get his head up a little bit. But you do wonder after his performance, because he's not featured. And we spoke about this on the Room Mill not long ago. He's barely featured. I think it's 3 substitute appearances in 15 games. But he came on the other night, and I thought he made a little bit of a difference. And I've thought this with Peda for a while. I wonder why we're not introducing him a little bit, a little bit nippy. Fits in with that front four a little bit in terms of stature, in terms of physicality, in terms of his creative spark as well. I think he's really good in tight pockets. Do I think he's of the level of someone who we could get at Ellen Road who's going to fire us to promotion? Absolutely not. But I think in terms of a substitute, individual, someone who can come on and can make a difference, I think we've got to utilise him a little bit more. And I think the game, he didn't do anything magical against Rotherham. But what I will say is when he came on, I thought he made a bit of a difference, as did Willie Gnonto. Jorginho Rutter did absolutely nothing in that game, apart from that wonderful little ball through to Somerville. But aside from that, he was very, very quiet, and he did look unfit. So as an alternative, a little bit of an alternative, you do wonder if Ian Peda is going to feature a little bit more. And after the game, Daniel Farker was speaking quite glowingly of him. He said he had magic ability. So you do wonder if we're going to see Ian Peda a little bit more. Leading up to the Christmas period when it's very, very congested, when it's very OTT, when it comes to games and minutes and injuries and fatigue. So yeah, very, very interesting. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about Ian Peda. Would you be keeping him round? Would you be looking at him to be a big part of what's going forward with Leeds United in this congested period, or would you be looking to get rid of him in January? For me, as many creative players need to stay as possible because we don't have that many, but I do think in that January window, Leeds United need to be looking at that cam position. In and around that cam position anyway. I love the fluidity that Jorginho brings to it, but sometimes, he's not even in that position. He's playing up front, and then it's João Peró. What's João Peró doing? Is he a striker? Is he a 10? I personally don't think he's there's a lot of people in the comment section below who disagreed with me the other day when I was speaking about João Peró, play him up front. I've said this multiple times. Go ask any Swansea fan. He's not an out-and-out number 9. He is not an out-and-out number 9. He never has been. So that marksman ability on the edge of the box, where he gets those positions and he takes a strike off, that is his position. On the edge of the area. He almost needs like a little bit of a number 9 ahead of him. So that's why I've always said from the very start, it'd be interesting to see him and Patrick Bamford together. But obviously Rutter then came into form. He's going to be another one who, for the Swansea game, it's going to be fascinating to see how Leeds deal with that. How are they going to deal with someone like João Peró? Is it ever going to be a consistent thing with him? I'm still a little bit, I don't think he's proven it yet whatsoever. And I know we need to give him time and all this sort of stuff, but I really want to see him embed himself within this Leeds United system. And I don't think playing him up top is and I know a lot of people are saying, we bought a striker of this amount of money. This is why at the very start, I turned around and got dogs abuse online, as always happens if Leeds fans disagree with you. Some of them can't articulate how they feel without calling you this, that, and the other. But I said at the start, he's not the normal profile that you'd expect for a striker. I said he's not the normal Daniel Farker profile for a striker, especially if you're looking at Teemu Pukki. He's just not. He's not an out-and-out number 9. He's a profile that I liked, but then we saw the relationship with him and Rutter, and you almost saw Rutter go up as a number 9 when he wasn't a number 9, and Peró was dropping back. It was very odd. It was very, very odd, but then you started understanding the dynamic, that the fluidity between them is quite nice, but we're not seeing enough from João Peró. We're not seeing enough consistently for me. So I like the relationship they've got, but ultimately, are we seeing enough for the amount we paid? Let me know in the comment section below. And as well, guys, I just wanted to speak on the 2 players who I think Leeds are going to lose in January when it comes to personnel. I think we are going to lose Joe Gelhardt, and I think we are going to lose Charlie Cresswell. I'd be stunned if they stuck around at Ellen Road, and whether or not that means we go for an Adjei, obviously at Hammarby at the minute, who Leeds apparently are tracking along with Sunderland, Preston, Celtic and Rangers heavily. A lot of people have been speaking very, very, very highly in the media about Adjei. He looks absolutely enormous. It looks like a real presence. I can't profess to know that much about him, but someone like Adjei coming in, could he be a Charlie Cresswell replacement? Joe Gelhardt, for me, goes out, and then you've got space for a striker to come in. They are the 2 positions which Leeds United simply have to invest in, because otherwise it's going to be a little bit of a problem for me. I think we need to go into the late January, February months if we can get the deals done quickly, and obviously into the latter part of the season with those positions reinforced. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, we're going to be back later on with a little bit of a video as well. Check out the shorts throughout the day as well. We're going to be posting. Check out the social media, One Leeds FC, where you'll see all the updates on when we're going live, who we're going live with. Make sure you follow us on all socials, and hope you're enjoying the content. Head on over to the Patreon if you want some bonus content. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in a bit.